just a few more.
Thanks, Karine.
Actually, sorry, Steve, it
Maybe I
is
can
me.
go
I
after you.
have a follow-up on the South Africa bilat today.
No fighting.
No, we're friends here. So on China's growing influence on the continent, what can the U.S. offer to South Africa and other SADC countries to counter that growing influence? And then also, I just want to let you know that the president of South Africa just criticized the pending, it's called the Countering Malign Russian Activities, and help me out here.
No, I can't, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to try that again.
Activities in Africa bill.
Oh,
And he said it is, quote, punishing those who hold independent views. Is that the administration's view of this pending legislation? Are you trying to punish African countries that are hesitating to condemn Ukraine?
I think we're reticent, as always, to talk about pending legislation. But just broadly speaking, there's no punishment here intended for anybody. Every nation, look, the core of the issue at stake in Ukraine, aside from the lives and livelihoods of millions of Ukrainians, is the issue of sovereignty. A nation's right to decide for itself what bilateral relationships it has and how it conducts those bilateral relationships. The United States isn't making anybody choose between us and somebody else, either when it comes to Ukraine or in the Indo-Pacific region. We respect sovereignty. That's what the administration, that's the approach that we have taken throughout this. So there's no punishment. And as for your first question, I think I mentioned it at the top. I mean, clearly we want to talk about trade and investment with President Ramaphosa. Again, I don't want to get ahead of the meeting and the results of it, but we are South Africa's third largest trading partner. So there's an awful lot. 600 companies, United States companies, are in South Africa. There's an awful lot to talk about there. And as you saw in the G7 leaders, and of course, President Biden was right there at the forefront there, launching this global fund for infrastructure and investment. I mean, there's an awful lot of opportunities here for more developed nations to continue to provide investment opportunities to lower and middle income countries so that they can improve their own infrastructure and their own healthcare, their own education, and their own economic development. And I think, again, back to my point about the UN General Assembly, I think you're going to hear more from the president in New York next week on that.
just a couple of.
Thanks. Once the president met with Trevor Reed's family, the process moved pretty quickly toward his release. Is part of the goal with publicizing these meetings today to put more pressure on Russia to accept that U.S. offer?
The primary goal of the meetings today is to be able to update the families and keep them completely apprised of where we are in the process, and to make clear to them just how much a priority it is for President Biden and his whole team to get them home. That's the focus for today.
And can you tell